the tide. Every wrong, every right. Got the insight, fire, and the Bama pride. When the crimson's on the line, we alone for the ride. Bama voices on the call, we gon' break it all down. Roll it up. From the rumble in the trenches to the kings of the crown. Roll it up. Yeah, the tide runs deep and the show runs strong. Jack, Jeff, Trev, keep it rolling all season long. Every snap, every play, every headline drop. If it's Bama on the field, you know we never stop. Fast take, big stakes, tide talk all day. Alabama by CFB, we don't play. Christian spirit in the air, let the good times flow. Times flow. Roll it up. Only one place to be when you love.
Good evening and welcome to the 47th edition of Alabama Primetime Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and my good buddy Trevion Ware from Bama Hammer, and all right here on Alabama, the voice of college football, as we're going over our takes on the latest news and notes, including the latest commitment for the 2026 class. Alabama's not done yet, as hours are getting closer to National Signing Day. Plus, we'll be going over Brandon Marcello ranking Alabama at 6 in the SEC for the power rankings heading into 2026, whether that's a good reaction or an overreaction. And we got much more, all right here on Alabama Voice College Football, including our take on the strength and conditioning program. Let me tell you something, folks. You're going to be in for a wild ride. How you doing today, good buddy?
I'm doing good, especially with this news we just got previously. I mean, right before we got on air here, Alabama is not done. Like you just said, Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan and that recruiting staff are still working into the late hours as we inch closer to National Signing Day at the high school level. And we just got a big one right here, a legacy commitment sort of type.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a big one. Let's go ahead and pull it up, shall we? And yeah, because it was like Salt from Hayes Fawcett. Oh yeah, he's happy. Sab is happy. He's gonna hang out with his brother. Man, that's gonna be cool. Keon.
Yes, sir. Like you said, this is the younger brother of Keon Sab, Amari Sab, officially announcing his commitment to the University of Alabama. We're talking about a 5'9", 170-pound athlete from Glassboro, New Jersey. He is definitely one of the underrated prospects, but it's still a good feel-good story. And I think it's more than a feel-good story because this kid definitely has game. Definitely more than just Keon Sab's little brother. And we'll be getting into that here right now as we're about to flip on the film and talk about Mr. Sab. And, I guess the Crimson runs in the blood of the Sab family because he's going to be taking his to Alabama. Like I said, we're talking about a kid with 4.4 speed that played on the defensive side and offensive side of the ball. As a senior, he reeled in 65 receptions for 823 yards and 14 touchdowns. He had 65 carries, as we just saw, one of those 65 carries for 823 yards. And like I said, 14 touchdowns, 53 receptions, and 916 yards. And then he plays a little punt return as well. He has those jets. He can turn any play into a big play. So this is definitely something that Alabama can definitely put in their arsenal and could be a secret weapon because this kid has it all. Defense, offense, special teams. He got everything we're looking for, everything the Crimson Tide staff are looking for. So I'm definitely hyped up about this signing right here.
Oh, man, I'm just looking at it, and it's just exciting seeing what we're getting from him. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, most definitely. The kid can do it all, literally. Even on defense, he has 6 interceptions. He is the older brother of 2027 athlete Xavier Sab. And Xavier Sab is one of the top prospects in his class in 2027. He's also a tied target. So, this could definitely be the start of a ripple effect for the Sab family, with Keon Sab going into his senior year, then getting younger brother Xavier, getting younger brother I forgot his name. See, I'm getting the Sabs confused, but you see, we're getting the 2026 Sab, and then the 2027 Sab, Xavier Sab. like I said, he's high on Alabama's list as well. So this could easily be a ripple effect of getting all 3 Sabs in Alabama. So I'm definitely excited about this, and I'm happy for the young man. I'm ready to see what's to come. What side of the ball will he be playing? We don't know. He might be one of those Travis Hunter dudes that can play both sides of the ball and help you out on special teams. So I'm definitely excited about this one right here.
Oh man, he's making his runs. There we go. Oh, he's
Yeah.
gonna get a touchdown. He's getting a touchdown. He's
Yeah, it's
making
like every time you see this kid get the ball, he's just a big play waiting to happen. And we're seeing the 4.4 breakaway speed. You get him in open space against those defenders, they can't catch him. So this is definitely one of the underrated signings. Isn't it? I believe he's a 3-star, correct? I don't want to get it wrong. I'm thinking.
Oh man, just looking at let's see what star he's at. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yep, 3 stars.
Yeah, 3-star. And I remember Keon Sabb being a 4-star, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 5-star. See, so many kids we cover and stuff, but the genes definitely run in the family, like literally. Anytime this kid touches the ball, you better look out because he can take it the distance. He can hit his head on the goalpost from anywhere on this field. So, and then he can also play some defense as well. He's obviously he probably might have to. It'd be interesting to see how Alabama gets him on campus and what position he specializes at. But he's shown the ability to do both. So this is definitely a helping hand in Alabama's receiving core, Alabama's defensive back room, and special teams. So. And he plays running back, so he can give you he can help you out in many ways. So this is definitely one of those signings that a lot of people obviously because he's a younger brother of Keon Sabb. It's a feel good story, but like I said, it's more than a feel good story.
Oh man, there we go. He's just making guys miss.
Yeah, the term athlete fits him perfectly. He can do it all, literally. Like I said, 6 interceptions on defense, 14 touchdowns on offense, 65 carries, 56 receptions. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, he provides it all. So definitely excited to see him officially put ink to paper this week when he does sign with the Crimson Tide. And I know that's going to be a special moment for Big Brother Keon. So just wanted to say a big congratulations to the Sabb family because this is just the start of something great, and it could be something more next year when Xavier Sabb is set to sign next year in the class of 2027.
Ooh, there we go. Oh, boom. Making guys miss.
Yeah, that's what you love to see. A dude that can create something out of nothing, and that's definitely what this kid brings to the table. So I'm definitely I don't want to overstate it, but I'm excited, man. This is one of the under radar pickups that fans can get excited about, and just seeing his potential. And we've seen how Kalen DeBoer has been able to recruit some of these 3 stars and get them to play higher than what the national experts have rated them. So we just saw it last year with Lashir Brooks, and this kid can definitely do some of those similar things. So it'd just be interesting to see what side he plays. Do we got to even pick a side? Like I said, he could easily be one of those Swiss Army knives that can play both sides. But overall, it's just a good addition for the Crimson Tide altogether. I'm pretty sure the defensive staff and the offensive staff are both happy today.
And matter of fact, he's the 26th commit for the 2026 recruiting class for the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's another win right there.
Yeah, most definitely. With Kalen DeBoer continuing to stack those highly recruited classes last year, having back-to-back top 5 classes, 2025 and 2026. Man, the proof is in the pudding. Like I said, I continue to say this. I just can remember a time when people were saying that Kalen DeBoer couldn't get talent to come to Alabama, couldn't get people to follow him. But hey, he's continuing to do it, and we see it with each and every signing. It's always a plan to what they're doing. So, continue just to trust Kellen DeBoer and his eye for talent.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. No doubt. Because you got a keen eye for talent. That's always going to help.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, man. Just like looking back at those plays, that Sab was making, it's got me pretty excited about what's to come. And 2026 is looking really awesome. I'm excited about this recruiting class, which we will discuss more later on in the show. All right here. Oh man, and we got Godfather the SC rolling in the chat. Let's roll, Tide, roll. Got the VOCFB Bama logo and the #1 foam finger.
Yes, sir. We definitely appreciate our OG member, Godfather, always tapping in on every episode, always leaving us a comment. Hey, we appreciate that, man. We definitely appreciate you every time checking in with us. Like I said, you could be doing anything else, but you're here with us, so we appreciate that.
We appreciate you so much, man. We appreciate you for tuning in. Oh man. But before we get to our next topic, as we stated, this show is presented by FanDuel, where you can get top-notch predictions in the world of college basketball, way too early college football predictions for 2026, upcoming Major League Baseball predictions, even some way too early NFL predictions. I know, right? Before the Super Bowl they already had it out, and they already got Super Bowl 60 odds. That's pretty fun.
Yes, yeah, most definitely. With the NBA All-Star game coming up in a couple of weeks, you can get some insight on that as well. On FanDuel, they got everything you need: player props, player alt lines, player in terms of football, player touchdowns, player receptions, passing yards, anything you can think of. FanDuel got it on the market and get you squared away and ready to play. So we definitely appreciate our partners there at FanDuel for continuing to sponsor the show, to believe in the show. We definitely appreciate it. And like I said, if you want to try to get you some action on any type of event, if it's tennis, if it's anything you're looking for, they got it.
Agreed. And let's go ahead and take a look at the odds for Alabama, Texas A&M. So they've got Alabama as an 8.5 favorite at home against the Aggies. Man,
you talking basketball? Yeah. Hopefully, I would like to think so. With Sunday going on in Alabama, kind of being embarrassed versus the national champion Florida State Gators and allowing 72 points in the paint. Yeah, I would hope that Coach Nate Oates in that group of players can definitely bounce back. So that 8-point spread, they might come out mad, come out with a purpose, and I'm hoping that they do. So that 8-point spread wouldn't be a bad look, but you could also jump on that money line, because I definitely think that Alabama is going to protect their home hardwood and get out that and get that win, because March Madness is slowly creeping up, and then they got to start getting some style points and add to this resume so they can be comfortably in on Selection Sunday. So you definitely want to tap in at FanDuel. They got everything you need. You can bet on players like Latrell Whiteside, LeBaron Philemon, and just players like that. Any player on the Alabama roster, I'm pretty sure FanDuel has it. So you definitely want to tap in with them for sure.
Oh, great. No doubt about it. No doubt. Because you want to definitely tap in with FanDuel, especially to get those top-notch predictions. Alrighty, so there was a podcast from Martin Houston where he's got some questions about the strength and conditioning program for not just basketball, but especially for football as well, for the University of Alabama.
Yeah, we're talking about Martin Houston, the legendary fullback on the 1992 Alabama national championship team. He gave some thoughts out today. I thought it was pretty interesting, because I actually crafted a piece together on Bama Hammer. But let's hear what good old Martin Houston had to say.
They still work under the auspice of the overall football strength and conditioning program. I guess to me, the same thing that got Alabama whooped this year in football is the same thing that has gotten Nate Oates whooped every year in basketball. And this year it's probably more obvious on these two sports is it's all or nothing. They don't have the physical makeup mentally or physically to execute other than that. They still worked under the auspice of the overall football strength and conditioning program. I guess what to me, the same thing that got Alabama.
Oof. What'd you think, man?
Man, I mean, if I feel like there's some truth to that. I mean, being honest. I mean, I just got to be honest because we've seen Alabama. I'm gonna speak from the football perspective first, and I'm gonna get to the basketball perspective. But on the football side, we just saw it in that the last time Alabama got on the field versus the eventual champion Indiana Hoosiers. We saw them get dominated up front. We saw them not be able to run the football all year. I mean, a couple weeks before that, we saw them in the SEC title game. Really be bullied. And, a lot of that comes from foundation. A lot in the foundation of Alabama football has always been in the weight room, building up these athletes, getting these athletes, physically and mentally sound. And, a lot of that comes from off-season workouts and stuff like that. And right now, Alabama's strength and conditioning coach has been David Ballou. David Ballou came on the staff with Alabama back in 2020. 2020. After longtime coach Coach Crohan. Yeah, Coach Crohan. He ended up going to Georgia, as all Alabama fans know, and that was Saban's right-hand man. That Crohan came in with Saban back in 2027, and I said back in 2027. Back in 2007, when Saban first came to Alabama, he came there with him, and they both came with the same vision of building this team up from the ground up. In that same plan, they were able to win 6 national championships together. They were able to produce multiple NFL draft picks, and they hardly ever got dominated in the game with the way that Alabama has been dominated in a couple games this last couple years. And, not to put it all on one person, but what Mr. Mark Houston said, I believe there's some truth to that, honestly. And just because just looking at the makeup of just the roster and stuff like that, you definitely, with Alabama having a younger team this year, you definitely want to get those guys mentally and physically ready to go against SEC opponents and stuff like that. And not saying that Dave Ballou isn't the guy to do it, but, that stuff, when Dave Ballou, when the last strength and conditioning coach left, there has been several athletes, past, present, and stuff like that within the Alabama football program that have said that they've noticed the change. And me at home, me seeing Alabama football in person with my own eyes, I can say I've noticed some of them changes too. So that statement by Mr. Houston is kind of true, honestly. I mean, but still, they have a chance to kind of rewrite that script this offseason by focusing on the fundamentals. They started focusing on the fundamentals from a roster standpoint, getting both of the offensive and defensive line both reconstructed. And that was a big part of Saban's team, having a strong defensive line, having a strong offensive line. But still the same, you can have the athletes, but you got to get them ready to play. And that starts in the weight room. And unfortunately, under Coach Ballou's watch, these past couple of years, it just hasn't shown. It hasn't materialized. I don't know what for, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. And then lastly, I just think about just from a competitive standpoint, we've seen Alabama kind of lay down in some of these games and stuff. And then and what people don't realize is these problems were pre-existing while Nick Saban was here. In his last couple of years, before he left Alabama, I mean, they didn't fall off the map or nothing like that, but these problems were definitely pre-existing. And, Caitlin DeBoer inherited those problems. And, there's been a lot of fuss online and stuff about should Alabama replace the strength and conditioning coach after replacing Coach Kapovich, the ex-offensive line coach. And, if you ask me, I honestly, I mean, like I said, you never want to see nobody lose their job, but I think it might be time for a shakeup in that department. So we'll see. But that's what I got on the football side. What you think about it, Jackson?
I think it sounds to me we need a new strength and conditioning coach, honestly, from what it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, because the board inherited that coach from Nick Saban. I mean, he hasn't gone out and tried to see what are these other strength and conditioning coaches talking about, what do they like and stuff like that. And and change is not a bad thing. Change can definitely be a good thing. So that's why I'm just surprised. When we talk about foundation and stuff, I'm surprised the board didn't bring his own strength and conditioning coach in. I mean, that kind of surprises me. I know he had one at Washington. I know he had one at Fresno State. Two places where he was most successful. So I would figure he would bring his own. But having him under Nick Saban and stuff, I can see why you didn't want to shake the table and shake things up. But it's 2026 now. You're going into a pivotal third year, so changes might be necessary. I mean, but then again, we already in February and stuff like that. I feel like the change was going to happen, and it would have already happened. But it's not surprising to see former players voicing their opinion on this topic.
True. I mean, because like I'm kind of feeling like the guy, Coach Ballou took his last name a little too seriously. Like you gotta like do better, Coach Ballou.
Yeah, honestly, and then from the basketball standpoint, I think he kind of off on that. That's why I can't co-sign with Mr. Houston on that, because from the basketball side of things, from what I've been seeing and stuff like that, I don't think it's a strength and conditioning issue. They have the conditioning, they have the strength, but I mean, that's kind of hard for me to argue back, because at the same time, we just saw them on Sunday get bullied by Florida. They literally got bullied, 72 points in the paint, and Florida was able to get whatever they wanted. And I think that game is kind of like a reflection of the problems Alabama basketball has had in the past. Not being able to rebound the basketball. If you don't rebound the basketball, that's just like in football. If you don't take care of the football, if you don't rebound the basketball, if you don't give yourself more opportunities to get cracks at scoring points and stuff like that, other teams that can do those things will definitely be superior. I mean, especially when you going against top tier talent, you put top tier talent next to top tier talent, and that's kind of been Coach Nate Oates' problem. In terms of just like building the team, because he's constructed great rosters, and these teams have made it to several Final Fours and have had success in March. So, I can't argue with that too much, because at the same time, like I said, they've been one of the most consistent high-rising programs in college basketball. But the reason they can't get over the hump, it might be because of the weight room, in terms of being able to have the strength to come down with some of those rebounds. I mean, I won't question conditioning, because I know Coach Nate Oates got them boys running down and back, doing suicides and bleachers and stuff like that. So I won't question the condition, but the strength, that could be in question. So it's not surprising to me that Houston kind of lobbed those two sports in together, because that has been highlighted over the last 2.5 years. It's fundamental stuff, and like I said, everything starts with a foundation. If you don't have a foundation, you can have the nicest house, but if you don't have a foundation, that house is going to crumble over time. That house is not going to stand up. You're going to start noticing subtle changes within your environment, and that's what we've been seeing with Alabama football, and it definitely showed Sunday, because I bet, not to compare strength and conditioning coaches, but I bet Florida's strength and conditioning coach, I bet on the basketball side, I bet I bet he probably is more productive in that area of getting the players more strength and stuff like that. And fundamentally, we saw that with them being able to rebound the ball and get to the paint at will with versus Alabama on Sunday. And then, like I said, you look at all the losses that Alabama has on the season, football and basketball, it always comes down to the same thing: not running the football, not getting enough push up front, not being able to get those rebounds and get those extra possessions and stuff like that. Seemed like on Sunday, Alabama was living by the three and dying by the three, and they died for sure, and they weren't able to go inside, and they were kind of one-dimensional, and the same could be said about football. Live by the pass game, die by the pass game, and they were definitely I definitely saw on several Saturdays Alabama wanting to run the football, but just cannot physically get the push up front. And just like Alabama wanting to rebound the basketball, bringing in different types of recruits and not being able to do so. So, there's a pattern there. And like I said, it all starts at the foundation, and the foundation is the weight room. So that might be time to shake the table up altogether.
Yeah, I mean, guys shake things up in order for things to get better, because just like really thinking about what you said and thinking about what Houston was saying, I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that both teams are having problems with some fundamental things. And like I said, fundamentals start from the base. It starts from the foundation, and we seeing the same thing happen over and over again every year. It seems like football and basketball having the same kind of issues in reverse. So, I mean, and they're in the middle of their basketball season right now. That's another reason why I don't think Coach Ballou will be let go anytime soon. Because, like I said, you just got to find a point where both teams are at a halt. But then football goes into spring ball and stuff like that. So it'll just be interesting to see. I mean, I'm in no position to call for nobody's job, but like I said, I definitely think it needs to be a change or some type of alteration, maybe to his coaching style in terms of being in the weight room, the workouts they're doing. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the building seeing the workouts, so but yeah, it's not surprising that if Martin Houston can see it, a player that's played in this Alabama football program and have seen stuff even before I was born and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of got to take his word. So, I mean, I feel like there's some truth to that on both sides, honestly. But, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I said, Alabama is going to be at home versus Texas A&M this week. I definitely expect them to bounce back. But that problem that we saw on Sunday against Florida, you're going to be facing teams in the NCAA tournament that can rebound. And we saw it last year when they played against Duke. They weren't able to get rebounds. I mean, yeah, they had Cooper Flagg. They had Con Knipple and several top NBA prospects, but still the same. They weren't able to fundamentally find that advantage. And it's now a disadvantage for both Alabama football and Alabama basketball in a way.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, man. Definitely have to get better.
Yeah,
but, but of course, for those tuning in to Alabama Crimson Tide Live and Alabama Primetime Live, Mondays and Tuesdays, all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, but also the Alabama Call-In Show, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You not only see us on YouTube or on X, of course, but you can also give us a listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. If you're running some errands or, going to the grocery store, you can always give a listen to what we're saying, all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football.
Yeah, especially on a rainy day like this, you definitely want to stream it. You definitely want to tap in with our streaming partners. Literally, if you're at home, you in the car, you working out, literally, we'll be here to, provide you top-notch content. And you can definitely, debate us. You can do everything you want in the comments, and we'll be reading those comments and stuff like that. And while I say comments, you might as well drop a like. You might as well subscribe. You might as well leave a comment. We definitely feed off that engagement, and we definitely appreciate all our streaming partners. And yeah.
There you go. Because there's always all kinds of magic tuning in all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, whether if it's on video or on audio. Always tune in because you're going to be in for a wild ride and a good time for a long time. We've got segment 3 as we go over our take on whether this is a reaction or an overreaction. As Brandon Marcello from CBS has Alabama ranked 6th in the SEC heading into the way too early offseason. Oof, man. Yeah.
I mean, seeing that list and seeing the teams that are in front of them, seeing LSU, you scroll up for me, Jackson, real quick. Seeing LSU, seeing Oklahoma, seeing Texas A&M, seeing Georgia, and seeing Texas at the top. I mean, that's not really surprising to me. That's why in this segment, my reaction will be a calm reaction. I don't have an overreaction to this. I actually think it's kind of fair. I mean, right now, those teams are kind of better on paper with how they attract the transfer portal and stuff like that, and the players that they're returning. You look at Texas; they're returning Arch Manning, who's probably going to be the number one pick in 2027 NFL draft, and just the players they got like a Cam Coleman, who Alabama was after, and then going down, you look at Georgia. Kirby Smart's always going to be in the picture, and he's always going to bring top tier talent. And plus, last time Alabama played them, Georgia had their way. So, I mean, I can't argue that either. And then you look at going up, go back down, looking at Texas A&M. That's going to be a good one to see. I mean, yeah, they got Marcel Reed, and obviously they got Isaiah Horton, and they were able to run the football and stuff like that last year. And with Alabama having questions at the quarterback position, yes, they got two talented players in Keelan Russell and Austin Mack. That's why I think the ranking is fair, because right now we don't know what quarterbacks that's going to be. And then Alabama has a youth overhaul going on right now, only returning two starters on the offensive side of the ball, and Ryan Williams and Michael Carroll. So, and they only have 8 seniors on the roster, so that really don't surprise me. And then seeing LSU with Lane Kiffin and stuff like that, of course, LSU was able to acquire top-tier talent as well. I'm not saying that Alabama wasn't, but I can see why people are saying LSU is going to be resurgent and stuff like that in a way. I mean, they better be resurgent. All the money they spent this offseason. Them in Texas, they are definitely going to be two of the teams that a lot of people are pegging in their preseason polls to be national championship contenders. And the only gripe I got about a team in front of me right now, in front of Alabama right now, is Oklahoma. I mean, Alabama just beat them in their place by 17. I mean, yes, they returned quarterback John Mateer and stuff like that, and they have more of a serviceable run game than Alabama, and they probably got less questions than us, so I can kind of see why that is. But that's probably the only gripe I have on that list. But overall, I think it's a fair list. I mean, it's not too high. It's not too low. You're just sitting right at the top 5. So now that should be bulletin board material, not rat poison. I know Nick Saban always used to say rat poison and stuff like that. But, a lot of people are not going to be picking the Alabama Crimson Tide to be top contenders in the SEC, and it's for the reasons I just explained. So I can definitely see why those ratings are what they are. Maybe I would have overreacted if they were sitting closer to 9 or 10, because I'm like, hey, chill out now, because I definitely think this team is talented, and I know people around the country think this team is talented, but it's just a lot of questions right now. I mean, people are asking, is Alabama in the bridge year? People are asking, are they rebuilding? People are asking, is this a championship team at all? So, is out for Kalen DeBoer and Kane Warmack and Ryan Grubb and all those coaches in the Alabama coaching staff to put the best units together on both sides of the football and be ready to play starting September 5th versus Eastern Carolina. I mean, I know that's not a top-tier opponent, but it's really just taking care of what you need to take care of. Because last year we saw Alabama lose the first game of the season. That's why, I was kind of a bit more cocky last year, but I'm gonna definitely reserve that cockiness because got to prove it. So Alabama definitely got to prove it. That definitely get them something to shoot for. So I'm hoping that Kellen DeBoer just keeps all this bulletin board material and all the stuff they said about this team, and I hope that they can use that youth to their advantage. Like he said last week in Mobile, they aim to use that youth to their advantage. So my overall sense, like I said, I think number 6 is okay. I think it's even kill. I think it's just right. So we'll just see what happens in the rest of this offseason with this 2026 recruiting class, seeing if they're still trying to work through the portal and bring in players. Obviously, the quarterback battle is the biggest question mark, and then people trying to see how this offensive line is going to be reconstructed over new offensive line coach Adrian Clem. So, it's a lot of questions, so we'll just see.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of thinking about it, because it's like you said, Alabama beat Oklahoma in the playoffs, and Texas A&M. I wanted to see in 2025, could they win a big road game? Well, guess what? They did that by defeating Notre Dame. And, A&M's not like where they were under Jimbo Fisher or Kevin Sumlin, where they were always coming up short. That we're not getting that Texas A&M anymore. So what's going to happen is that's a team basically going to have a say in whether they're going to the SEC title game and basically an annual playoff team. And October is a little bit tough for Alabama because you've got Georgia and you got to go to Knoxville for Tennessee. Then you got Texas A&M coming to your backyard.
Yeah.
That's going to be the tell of the tape right there to see where you're going for the rest of the 2026 season.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's kind of set up perfectly because every team that they're placed in front of them, they have a chance to play them. Whether it's on the road, whether it's in Bryant-Denny Stadium, they'll have their chances to be able to prove those writers wrong. Whether they are right or wrong, we'll see. But like you said with Texas A&M and stuff, even though they didn't win their first round playoff game, I would still be reserved on them because they did play Miami, and we saw how tough Miami truly was. I mean, they was able to hang up. They were able to put up a little dog fight versus Indiana. So, and they was able to be quarterbacked all the way to the national championship by that vicious defensive line, and they kind of got some of that swagger back on the back end. And then on top of that, obviously the offense having the run game, how it was going, how they was going. So I'm not gonna knock Texas A&M too bad. Like I said, they definitely returning some talent. They took some talent of ours. Like I said, they took Isaiah Horton, and then getting Marcel Reed in that offense another year. I've seen how dynamic he can be with his legs. His question is going to be how can he distribute the football and become a better passer of the football. But rounding out that top 10, who was after Alabama? Number 7, number 8, number 9. Obviously, we see number 7 being the Ole Miss Rebels and stuff like that. They're still trying to get Trinidad Chambers back, and then they brought in Deuce Knight from Auburn. Then you got Missouri. Missouri, nothing to snore at. They still got the SEC leading rusher in Ahmad Hardy. And then South Carolina is always going to be around because they got Shane Beamer and Lenore Sellers, and if they can put it all together, they can be a threat too. And then Florida, getting a coach from Tulane and stuff like that. So I think that's a solid top 10. I think that CBS kind of nailed it on the head with that top 10. Honestly, like I'm not even gonna argue against it. I can see why each team is placed where they are. Tennessee still having quarterback questions. Same with Auburn. Those two teams still being in purgatory. In Alabama, can definitely get the best of both of them. In Kentucky, and that's why I said early on in the season, Kentucky being 13, Alabama sees them in week 2. So you got to kind of beat who you need to beat, and then you got Vanderbilt, Alabama going to going out there to where is Vanderbilt? I forgot. I know it's in Tennessee. It's not in Knoxville. Where is it? I forgot.
In Nashville, Alabama. Going to Nashville.
Going to the Music City and stuff like that. And we saw the last time what happened with Alabama going to the Music City. I mean, obviously they don't have Diego Pavia, but they got a talented quarterback coming in. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. In Curtis and Jared Curtis and stuff like that. Obviously Arkansas and Mississippi State. So a lot of people was kind of lashing out about this list, but I think it's kind of fair, honestly. I can see why all the teams are placed where they are, so no reaction out of me.
Well, and Brandon Marcello makes an excellent point about how when he says that anytime Shane Beamer in South Carolina had their back against the wall, they thrive under that. Like case in point, the 2024 season, the 2022 season, when they were basically getting close, when 2024, they were getting close to the playoffs, but no cigar. 2022, they basically, not any shot of any playoff hopes that Clemson had for 2022. But when everybody was talking about South Carolina and how great they're going to be, they fell apart.
Yeah, so
season.
Yeah, so that's kind of a team that does better when they fly under the radar and stuff like that. And they definitely make a great point about them playing their best ball when their back against the wall, because we saw it when Alabama went down to South Carolina to play them in their own stadium, and it took a vigilant effort by Ryan Grubb to call the plays that he called, and Jeremy Bernard kind of saved the day by scoring that touchdown. And it took Alabama all 4 quarters to eke out a game versus versus South Carolina. So they definitely played their best with their back against the wall. But I think they're kind of rated R where they're supposed to be. Obviously, Lenore Sellers has a lot of talent, but it's just about not getting him to turn over the football. I mean, he's been able to hurt Alabama in different ways. So like I said, I just think that list, I think that's probably one of the more sound lists I've seen in a long time, because like I don't really have no grunts about it, no gripes about it other than Oklahoma. But obviously Oklahoma, they got some better they got less question marks than we got right now, just in terms of at the quarterback. They know they're going to start John Mateer. They have their offensive line was better than the offensive line last year. I'll go ahead and say that. So, that's probably the only gripe I got about the list, but it's not a bad list at all.
Yeah, and it also mentioned Tennessee is waiting it out to see what's going to happen with Joey Aguilar. Yeah,
that's so funny.
Man, it's like a lawsuit against the NCAA. Good grief.
Yeah, Tennessee's so funny. They still trying to figure out what they want to do at the quarterback position. Josh Heupel and staff still trying to figure some stuff out on that offensive side of the ball. But Tennessee do got a solid defense, and plus, it's always hell going to play in Neyland Stadium. I've been in Neyland Stadium, and a lot of Alabama fans call that place a construction site, a dumpster site. But at the end of the day, that is one of the most hardest. That is one of the most hardest stadiums to play in. I remember I went there back in 2024 when Jalen Milroe was the quarterback, and it was so loud in there. It was literally loud in there. And I'm thinking, are they pumping crowd noise? But no, those fans are on their feet. They're loud. So I definitely can see why, Tennessee is where they are, but I definitely wouldn't underrate them. I know a lot of Alabama fans is probably saying, screw Tennessee. And hey, I'm with you. I don't like Tennessee neither. But at the same time, that is one of the hardest stadiums to play. Just in terms of their fan base, they get up for every game, so I can respect that to a certain degree. Not trying to, don't really. Anyway, let me not say nothing if I get in trouble. But no, I definitely can see why that list was constructed, why it was, and like I said, no overreaction out of me. I think it's kind of one of the most sound lists I've seen, preseason lists I've seen. So that's probably how when they do the media does the voting. I remember I did the voting last year, and I saw how that process went. So I definitely can see that process going like that in the minds of writers and stuff. So that doesn't surprise me. So solid list by CBS.
There you go, man. There you go. I mean, that's a fair reaction from, we'll rule that as a fair reaction from both of us. All right, here on Alabama Boys College Football. So that was the third segment. All right, here on Alabama with the Boys College Football. Tune in. And we've got some merch. All right, here on Alabama with the Boys College Football. We've got the hats. We've got the T-shirts. We've got the sweatshirt, the heavyweight T-shirt, the polo, the tumbler cup, the game day mug, the can cooler. We've got it all right here. It's never too early to get ready for spring break. Especially with the can cooler. Yeah,
most definitely. And we got the stuff up top with the sweatshirts and stuff like that. Obviously, the weather goes up and down in the state of Alabama, but these shirts will keep you warm. We got different shades. We got black. We got gray. We got tan. We got white. We got everything you're looking for. I mean, actually, I might need to give me one. How much is that? What is that?
32.99.
Okay, $32.99. See, it's affordable and it'll keep you warm, and literally it helps us make a buck. So we definitely appreciate anybody that's interested. Also, if you have a collaboration idea or anything like that, you can email the Alabama channel at the Voice of College Football. What's the email, Jack? Yeah, I always forget that.
Well, for merch ideas, you can always contact voiceofcollegefootball@gmail.com if you got any merch ideas, and they can give it all to you all right there.
Yeah, and we'll definitely give you credit if we see an idea that we like. We'll definitely give some type of credit out. Might be something half prices on. We don't know. We'll see. But that's why you gotta send those ideas in so we can see what you're working with. And we definitely appreciate anybody that wants to help support this channel. We definitely appreciate it.
There you go. And we saw something today about the playoff schedule. Yeah, and they're kind of doing something a little different. So they're moving the semifinals back. They're moving it way back.
Yeah, the dates, man. The dates in college football in 2026, 2027 is going to be crazy. We just saw the national championship be played on January 16th, but now it's looking like it's almost going to January 26th. That's correct, right? The national championship.
Man, national title on January 25th. Good grief.
Yeah, man, January 25th. That's the latest I've seen college football national championship ever be played. Because I remember growing up as a kid, they used to have it on the edge of December. Then it leaked into January, and it feel like every year it's just been going back and back and back. And that's kind of showing me that the college football playoffs is not scared to compete with the NFL playoffs in terms of like window time and stuff like that. I can just imagine the AFC and the NFC championship game being on that same weekend almost. So it's going to be a long season ahead, especially with the SEC adding that 9th game to the schedule and stuff like that. But if you love football like we do, that's like a football palooza. At least we gonna know we're gonna get NFL and college football in the same breath. I mean, that's kind of good, but I just think about the players' health and stuff. I mean, that's a long journey from September. Some people starting in week 0. That week 0 starts on the last week of August and stuff like that. So from there to there, I mean, there's only a couple more weeks added to it, but still the same. That's still some new developments up in college football. So it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, obviously, I won't be complaining if Alabama is playing in one of those games next year. I mean, I love to see it, but we'll see. But that's just shows you the landscape of college football is always evolving, it's always changing. So, but we'll be here to bring it to you however we can break it down. And
There's just one thing.
What's up? What's up, Jack? What
the
you think?
National title is on a Monday. I know it's been that way since the 2006 season, with the exception of the 2009 season, being the only year that wasn't held on a Monday. It was held on a Thursday, but still, though, it's no, my mistake. It was also held on a Thursday for the 2008 season, but other than that, that was about it. I don't like the idea of the national title being on a Monday. I would prefer to be on a Saturday. Like, don't get me wrong, I will happily tune in for the Natty, of course. It's just, I just feel like it would be better for the national title to be held on a Saturday instead of a Monday night. Because, I mean, that's a work night for those that, that just want to tune in, like for the regular people that are like tuning in, the people that are subscribed to the show, they may not be able to watch the full thing on a Monday night, because you got to get ready for work on Tuesday morning. So it's kind of like, why not have the national title be on Saturday night? And if it's like, if you're worried about the NFL, here's what we do: move the nighttime playoff game up to noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central time.
I see your thinking, but NFL, they kind of their own league. They not worried about college. So I don't think Commissioner Roger Goodell would agree with that. They always try to have that 7 o'clock window as a prime time window. So it'll be hard pressed for me to believe that college football and NFL could come together and make that adjustment. But it seems like neither one is worried about stepping on each other's toes. And with the national championship game, we've kind of got all accustomed to it being on Monday. I don't think that'll change. So I mean, I see your thinking though, in terms of like, trying to get the most viewership and get people to watch it and not either miss it coming from work or miss it having to go to bed for work. But at the same time, my only thing is just the pushback of the dates. That's all it is for me. Because like I said, January gonna be long. I mean, I remember Alabama this past January. Of course, they lost on New Year's Day, but January was still long. You still feel like it took forever for them to get to the national championship with it being on the 19th. Now they pushing it a week back, and then with the transfer portal, the transfer portal opened up on January 2nd this past year, and it closed on January 16th, I believe. But the national championship teams got that extension as they should. I definitely believe they deserve the extension to be able to work around those parameters and whatever players they wanted were able to enter late into January. But now that just brings into question how are they see all the calendars and stuff in college football is messed up. Like it's like that in all sports now. Like, so the NCAA, they have to set some stuff in straight. They have to set some precedent rules that people follow. So college football is kind of all over the place. I mean, with NFL, that's why I say it's kind of hard to make them change because they've been doing this. College football is constantly evolving. NFL been having the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game on those particular dates. I can always remember that. And with the Pro Bowl, see the Pro Bowl skill challenge on right now. See, the Pro Bowl is not even what it is no more. So, I mean, for me to say that about college football, some stuff has changed in NFL too. It feel like I'm like, this is not the game I grew up on because obviously the Pro Bowl is kind of like people saying it's a joke. And I mean, I don't even take it serious now because I remember being a kid and they used to travel to Honolulu and I used to watch them on Sundays at the Pro Bowl. It used to be some good football, man. But now skills challenge. I mean, of course, I'm going to go check it out on my TV back there after we get off here. But, man, it's not – I don't know. This football is always evolving, man. So it's crazy to see. We seeing changes in real time. But, that's what we have for college football now. I mean, hopefully Alabama is able to benefit from it and play in some of those games in the future. But we'll see.
There you go. I mean, that's what we'll wait and see for. That's for sure. But a bright note for the future is the 2026 recruiting class and how great it looks. Because, as we stated earlier tonight, the Crimson Tide has the second best class for 2026. And it's the 19th straight season to where Alabama has a recruiting class in the top 5. Last time it happened was 2007, where they ended it at 12th. Yeah,
and that was Saban's first year. And you see, for people saying that Kalen DeBoer is not able to keep some of this status alive, he's done it in his first 3 years. Now this being his third class. I mean, now that wasn't his because what is this? His second class or his third? I'm slow right now.
Second full class, but the first class was 2024.
Yeah, but still the same. He's still keeping that same energy on the recruiting trail. Still keeping these teams, these talents rolling in. And still filling this roster with players that can make contributions early. So I'm definitely impressed with the 2026 Alabama recruiting class, especially, like I said, we started out the show by getting Baby Sab on board with Alabama, the 2026 athlete. So, I'm impressed that Alabama is still able to reign supreme in college football on the recruiting trail. So hopefully that these classes can materialize or something, though, because a lot of people want these instant results, and like I'm one that I understand how instant gratification works and stuff like that. You kind of can't work it like that, but like we just said, Kellen DeBoer has brought in 2 classes, so. Hopefully we can see some of that to materialize this year with them playing some younger players and stuff like that. But the future is definitely bright for Alabama in the 2026 recruiting class. They might be able to, who knows who commits in these next couple of days, these next couple of hours. They might be able to surpass and get to the top of the mountain and be number 1 again. So, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But, You never want to accept 2, but 2 is not bad because you look at all these other programs, they would die to be in the shoes of Alabama in terms of getting top tier talent to come to their program. So that's just a testament to Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, Ryan Grubb, Kane Warmack, and some of those positional coaches being able to create these relationships with these kids and being able to build that trust with their families. So I'm definitely excited to see the new generation of talent come in this week when signing day is. When officially is signing day? See, I'm old now. Man.
Tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. See, I remember I graduated in 2018, right? So I remember but I didn't play foot. I played football, but that was my main sport was track. I remember I signed to Texas A&M Commerce. They're called East Texas they called East Texas A&M now. But yeah, they were a Division II school. They moved up to Division I ranks. But I remember seeing some of my classmates that did play football and seeing how happy they were to go to some top tier programs. I remember I had one of my classmates ended up going to LSU of all places. I mean LSU hoop, but yeah, he ended up going to LSU and his name was Jarrell Cherry. He ended up going to LSU and seeing the excitement on his face and his family face, I definitely can remember those times. So I'm definitely happy that we're gonna see a lot of kids' dreams come true tomorrow, and see that ink hit the paper, and it definitely be a lot for me to talk about tomorrow. Even though I won't be on, I'll still be having a lot to write about. So definitely an exciting time for Alabama football, being having one of those top classes again and getting some of this top tier talent in, because there's definitely gonna be some stars coming from this class. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah. Plenty of them. It's gonna be exciting seeing the 2026 class. Tomorrow. Like we talked about a few of them yesterday, like Griffin and Morgan, and we've talked about a few of them here on this channel. Matter of fact, that we did a few commitment watch party live streams with some of the team channels, like Max Sutter. He's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, you're talking about what is he, a 4-star, 5-star? I always get my stars confused.
He's a 4-star tight end.
Yeah, 4-star tight end. He's gonna be one of those kids that can definitely help make an impact and add to that talented stable of tight ends that Alabama has with Caleb Edwards, Marshall Pritchard, and guys like that. So, like I said, Alabama continuing to stack that depth, and I know a lot of people saying the team is young, but these kids gonna grow up over time, and it's gonna be a problem. So I definitely wouldn't take tomorrow lightly. Alabama officially getting some of those kids in, getting EJ Carell tomorrow officially, and stuff like that. The 5-star running back from the state of Alabama, and obviously they got some kids that came in as early enrollees, but you still got a lot of talent, still got a lot of underrated talent, people we might not be regarding as highly. So kids definitely will have their opportunities to have their moment with their families, and I definitely can't wait to see the post and all the excitement that goes on tomorrow for sure.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna be a wild ride seeing what's gonna happen. We're just kind of waiting it out to see like whether everything's really final or not. But it's gonna be fun to see. Because there's always gonna be somebody trying to get that last second flip.
Yeah, and definitely if Alabama is definitely able to get a last second flip, depending on the player, what it is or something like that, we'll definitely be here to bring it to you at the Alabama channel on the Voice of College Football. So I just said I won't be on here tomorrow, but hey, so we might get some crazy news tomorrow. So that's why you got to stay tuned. That's why you got to like. That's why you got to comment. That's why you got to subscribe. We always here. We working overtime all the time, and we'll be keeping our eyes out, keeping our ears to the street, keeping our eyes glued on the timeline to see what happens.
Oh yeah, there's always gonna be something going around. That's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's why we will make sure to go live or make a video on it, and we will keep you informed. All right, here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. Well, Trevion, what magic have you got cooking up on Bama Hammer, good buddy?
What magic I got cooking up? Obviously, I'm trying to focus on this 2020-26 team. I'm trying to take some deep dives. I'm trying to go at some angles that a lot of writers haven't went at. I mean, I'm always looking at the competition. I'm always looking at to see who's doing what. I'm always looking to see any possible trends, any possible stuff like that. But that's why you got to tap in with me on X. I'm always posting my articles on X at TWR1K. My links in my bio. My stories are pretty accessible on the Alabama at the Bama Hammer. We got several other talented writers there as well who also give top-notch content. So it's kind of a wait and see thing. But I know I'm definitely gonna be writing and typing tomorrow. So that's why you definitely got to tap in. And just an exciting time with signing day tomorrow and stuff like that. And like I said, trying to study this 2020-26 team and see some stuff that a lot of other people aren't seeing. So, eventually, if it comes back later in the off season of the season, I can be like, hey, I pointed that out first. So, that's kind of my goal too, as I continue to build my career as a writer and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I got going on.
There you go, man. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Trevion has all right there on TWR1K, on @/Twitter, and on Instagram and Threads. Stay tuned for more. And you can also check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I've got my show, The Jacksonian, where I'll be joined by Mike Debate from Patriots on SI to preview the Patriots side for Super Bowl 60. And then I'll be joined by Mookie Alexander from the Seahawks site on SB Nation to discuss the Seattle Seahawks for Super Bowl 60. And that's going to be a wild one, as episodes 97 and 98 will be rolling before the weekend ends, definitely on Friday night. I can tell you it's going to be fun. I should release episode 97 on, I would say, 8 p.m. after I get done filming, because that's going to be fun. And, of course, tomorrow night I'll be on with Andrew Miller and Tucker Harlan, as we will be joined by Drew Betty for some Senior Bowl takes and some early draft takeaways for the SEC guys. All right there on SEC at the Voice College Football. And for more updates, what I've got going on SEC at the Voice College Football, Alabama at the Voice College Football, or the Jacksonian, or some of the writings I'm doing on vocfb.com, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads, Jackson Johnson 543908. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever. And we will see y'all soon. And roll.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Appreciate you for watching.